Okay, medians and centroids. A median is nothing more than a line connecting a vertex with the midpoint of the opposite side. So when we're talking about a median from vertex A, that means from A to the opposite side going this way. So it kind of helps to know what opposite is. So if you were standing in the corner of a triangular room, what wall would be in front of you? That's opposite. So this whole side is opposite. And later on, we will talk about concepts such as adjacent. So adjacent means next to, means touching this angle. So it's the two sides that make up the angle. But opposite is the one that is not part of it, but intercepted by. So if we could find the midpoint, now we totally could just measure this. You know, I could say, well, that's what, an 1 3/4, maybe an inch and, oh gosh, not an 1 3/4, but I don't know, 6/8, 12, looks like 13/16. Wow, yeah, and then half of that. But anyway, we know an easier way. So we're going to find, instead of a perpendicular bisector, we just want the bisector part, but we're going to follow the same process as perpendicular bisector. What that means is, so keep in mind what side you're working with, set your compass to at least more than halfway. You can go all the way, you can make it bigger, but at least more than halfway, the length of that. And keep in mind, you may end up making marks out here on top. So I'm going to make a mark there. I'm cutting this one in half, and I'll make a mark on this side. Keep in mind what one you're cutting in half. Then I switch over to the other side, and I will make a mark there that intersects, and one there. Whoops, I'm going to have to go back and make that other mark. See how they did not touch? Keep my compass the same, come back, finish that mark, make it intersect. So this line, you do not have to draw the whole line. In fact, please don't. I do want to see the marks, your marks that you used for drawing this thing. All I really need to see is that, because that's halfway. And the median, now, the last step is you're going to connect this intersection with the vertex A. So I'll put my pencil on there because it's hard to hit, and then I slide my protractor to it. I'll come over and double check. Yep, that's good. This is the median. That's the median. And the way you indicate it, this side, this opposite side, has now been split into two equal parts. And in geometry, we usually put congruency marks, like that half is equal to that half, means it's been split in two. All right? The other part, so that's the median. You only have to do it on one angle. So from A, you're going to split that one in half. Now on these down below, number 3, 4, I believe 5 and 6, you're going to locate the centroid, which means you need to draw at least 2 medians. You don't have to draw any more, but if you want to double check with a third one, that's what you would do. So I'm going to find the midpoint of this one and that one. I'm going to pick the bigger lines because bigger lines are easier to draw bisectors for. So I'm going to bisect this one at the bottom. Put my compass here. I will make it bigger. And I'm going to draw a mark above it and below it. I will then switch to the other side, make a mark above and below. Set the compass off to the side. I might use that measurement again, but connect this and that. I think that might be it, but I only need the middle on that side marked, right? Because I'm cutting this one in, no, I just cut this one in half. That means I'm going to connect this angle to that midpoint. All right, so this side and that angle, that's the median. So here's one, connect the angle with that line. See if my pencil hits it good. Right about there, that kind of looks like it. So here is the median right there. So this segment is congruent with that segment. And now I'm going to split this line in half, which means I'm going to take my compass and now I'm going to make a mark like here's the line. So I'm going to make it above, which is really a continuation of that first arc I used, but it's now above this line and down below. I might have to get creative with the length just in case. But instead of going over here, I'm going to go to this one. I'm going to go to this line right here and see where they intersect. So there's my new intersection right there. I put a little mark here so I know which one to use. And this one here. Put a little mark there. So now I'm going to do those two. And I only have to do two. Oh, you can't even see. Should have said something. What am I saying? So this, connect to that. And that one looks like I'm right there. And I'm just going to make a mark. I'm not going to draw the whole line. I just make a mark. So this half, put 2 marks now, is congruent with that half. This is the midpoint. That is the midpoint of that. I've got 2 equal sides. And now I'm going to connect this angle with the opposite side's midpoint, or the midpoint of the opposite side, which is from the vertex to that midpoint that I just drew. And this is the centroid. This intersection is the centroid. You will start to recognize now, sometimes you'll make the marks really small. And you really don't need to make them huge when you mark the midpoint. But anyway, so I will show more. It'll get more crazy with when we do the last 2 on the back. But just show the intersection. You just need to have 2 of them intersected. And I will go on to the back. I'm going to put this keyboard somewhere else. It was in the way. Okay. Now, so for each triangle, we're going to construct all 3 medians. So we're going to do it on all 3 of them. And I think I want to go on this one here because it's bigger and might be easier to show. Nah, never mind. Oh, I really don't care. All right. So we'll do number 8, okay? And let's start with the big side first. This length of my compass may be perfect for all of them. I do want to make it bigger. The further apart my lines are, the easier it is to draw straight. So I'm going to cut this one in half. I'm more than halfway the distance. I'll make a mark above it and below it. Switch to the other side. Make a mark above, below. I only need the midpoint. So this does not look quite straight. But this, so now this part right here, that is the midpoint of that side. And the opposite side, or the opposite angle, is from here to there. And that looks like it right there. That's the median. So you use the perpendicular bisector method just to find the center. You just need the bisector. You don't need the perpendicular part. Once you find this part, this dot, you then connect it to the opposite vertex. All right, so now I'm going to go, let's see, I'm going to cut this one in half. Okay, so use my compass. This is kind of a huge setting. I'm going to shorten it a little bit. Okay, and I'll make a mark above and below, and the same thing here. You've done this many times now, above and below. That looks like that. Yep. And then I just make a little mark right there. So now I want to start keeping track. This part is congruent with that part. This part, notice I'm making double marks, is congruent with that part. And then I'm going to connect this vertex to that midpoint. So I will put my pencil on the midpoint and I rotate it to be on that vertex, and I will double check that my pencil's in the right spot. That looks good, and just draw that. Okay, there's the centroid, and now I'm going to find the midpoint of this one and confirm, and you can kind of see how it's lining up, but I'm going to do the midpoint of this side, and since it's easier for me if I rotate the triangle and put this side flat. Let's see. This compass setting could also work. I think I'll make it a little bit bigger so I'm not interfering with marks I've already got. I'll make a mark up here, make a mark down below, switch to the other side or the other endpoint. There you go, and that's the one I'm looking for. I'm going to mark it, and there, and that's my new one there. I really lose track of which marks I'm using. And then I will mark from here to there. I'm going to put my pencil here, see if that actually hits. Yeah, that does. And then I'm just going to make a mark on that side. I'm not going to draw a full line, make a mark on that side. I've now divided this side into 2 equal halves, and I'm going to use 3 marks. The parts that have the same number of marks are the same, are congruent with each other. So this one is not the same as this, and it's not the same as this, but the ones with the same number of marks are identical. But now I'm going to connect this midpoint, put my pencil on it. I'll rotate it to where I can see where I'm in line with the vertex, and this, hey, not too bad. And it intersects. There's the centroid, and that's what that means by concurrent. Concurrent means they happen at the same place. They occur at the same time, or at the same spot, right there. Anyway, that's that. That's the centroid, that's the intersection of medians, and a median is the intersection of the midpoint with the vertex that's opposite, or the vertex with the midpoint of the opposite side.